So we got together with all the other societies in Manchester, and every summer during our holidays we produced a magazine which called The Pink Guide, deliberately ambiguous title with a strong hint. And our job was educating the whole student community about the existence, identity and social facilities for queer students, to be distributed along with all other material during the Freshers' fortnight. And it was an unapologetic statement of we're here, we're queer and we're not going shopping.
25 years ago here at Salford, 4 students found themselves being expelled from their own students' union and facing a torrent of discrimination from fellow students and the very institution at which they had chosen to study.
I think it was the 3rd year we produced it. We had this explicit image of a sheathed phallus. Most people don't read literature that they're given. It just doesn't happen, where imagery is far more powerful at getting messages across. So a sheathed phallus or sheathed penis was the one. And we put it in the safe sex information on 2 pages. A huge flaw. Even though we'd invited all the university student unions to come and see the draft before it went to the printers, Salford didn't bother to turn up. We started distributing it. This university, Students Union, immediately called me in and said, we can't have this. And I did suggest they'd been invited to the pre-publication, they'd not bothered to turn up. No, we still can't have it. The Christian Society is deeply offended, and it's remarkable. We're trying to save people's lives here, it's going out. So they refused to give it out, so we gave it out. In fact, they destroyed the 200 copies they'd been given. They called me and the other chair, Katie, to an exec meeting to be held to account, to give a promise that we'd stop giving out, we wouldn't. So immediately afterwards, the society was frozen. And then a week later, the 4 of us, still got your letter, informed that we were banned. I, foolishly or recklessly, had arranged to meet someone, and I was in the bar and the security came and escorted me out.
The following weeks and months found the committee facing huge adversity from their SU, and despite many letters between Jeff and the president, the expulsion of the students was still upheld.
I mean, my emotional reaction was outrage, anger, but just absolutely livid and I know from being in the meeting, being told we were expelled, I reacted with vociferous objection with the assistance of a few pints, I think, and possibly chasers might have been involved. So we were a bit anxious before going to the meeting, so in an attempt to pacify my own nerves, I may have gone slightly too far. And, and this emboldened me to tell the committee what I thought of them, so that they should be ashamed of themselves.
My reaction was far colder and far more with gritted teeth, and the reaction was fuck you. This isn't the last. You've not heard the last of this. And I didn't need to be outraged, Simon had been outraged for us, but absolute steel determination that I'm going to make new things.
A huge series of letters, minutes, documents and the Pink Guides themselves have all been preserved by Jeff within the Manchester Central Library archives. To get more of an idea of this story and the struggle these students faced a quarter of a century ago, we took 2 of our current students to view the collection.
This image was talked about for ages. One of the problems safe-sex organisations, health organisations are having was the majority of people who had unsafe sex wouldn't define themselves as gay. So I'd find myself with others outside of gay venues at 1:30 in the morning giving out gay men's safe sex packs, which were condoms and KY jelly and what have you. And you'd have lads coming out holding hands with whoever they copped off with, going, "You're all right, mate, I'm not gay." And at first you're rather arrogant. Of course you're gay, you've copped off. And that was our arrogance. These men weren't gay. They'd probably gone out, left the girlfriend for the night, were out with the lads, and that was their bit of fun. And then they'd return to their straight life. And they weren't gay. And they certainly wouldn't be reading gay information. So the information we were getting is a pictorial image is far more powerful. So a sheathed penis going up a bottom that does it. What this did was lead to our Lesbian and Gay Society at Salford being closed down. And I have to say, true to form, when you tell students not to see something, so the positive side of the negative of being publicly discriminated was that more people saw this image than ever. Now this is the 16th of November, and this is one of 4 letters, one sent to each of the people expelled, saying, whoops, we found out we can't expel you. So although we said you were expelled, we couldn't really expel you, so you've not been really expelled anyway. No apology, except the apology for any inconvenience caused by our improper decision, i.e. being manhandled out of the building. However, we're still banning the guide, you've still acted wrongly, we're not happy with you.
Did you go back?
I never went back into the building until last Friday.
Wow. How did it feel going back into the building?
Very uncomfortable.
Really?
Very uncomfortable.
Just knowing what you've went through? Or
it's emotive, it's emotive. And to know what that union did. You've seen how sincere and serious we took this campaign. They'd banned our guide, they'd banned the lesbian and gay guide. There's 2 reactions, that anger, and you get something done about it, and invariably burn yourself out, or you succumb. You go deeper into your closet. And I'm very, very proud of these people I work with, who are remarkable people. And I'm honoured to be amongst those people. But it also allows me to say, given your comments earlier, that it's much easier now. So why isn't more being done?
Whilst his story is a tough one to tell, we hope that bringing it to light all these years later will play a part in bringing closure to those who were affected by the SU's actions.
But the real victims in all this, we will never know. That's the hundreds and thousands of students. And they've been probably known they're LGBT for quite a while. And university was their big shot at being grown up and at least having some independence and to love as they would wish. And they arrived at Salford during this period. And we will, it's unquantifiable, the damage done. We don't know if, but I would suggest it's very probable, that people are still in the closet now because of what they experienced here. It is a shameful period in the past of this Students' Union. And I am so pleased that the organisation has had the maturity to put their hand up and say, this was wrong, and we want to try and make it right.
Obviously, thank you for everyone for coming, but just before we leave and kind of reflect on the words that were said today, I'd just like to award and give on behalf of the Students' Union, the Trustee Board and the Salford community overall honorary life memberships to Jeff and Simon. So, come on.
Thanks, Joe.